Hello, one and all, and welcome to another episode of Baggers Chat. My name is Mitch Pattinson, and as always, we are joined by Ethan Duffy, and tonight we are reviewing our clash against Melbourne. Final scores were the Baggers 12 goals, 6, 78 to the D's, 10 goals, 10, 70 points. We finally have gotten our win, first win since round 14 against the Eagles. 4 weeks since it's been a win like that, and finally to get some 4 points and finally get some recognition and finally get some bloody confidence and positiveness back on the podcast, because it's been the same shit every single fucking week for the past month. But to finally come back and get a very important win, we were tested, but the kids, I wouldn't say the leaders, the kids stood up tonight for the first time since I can remember, probably since the rebuild days. But Daff, I'll throw straight to you. You were at the game. I was working on the game, so I will love to hear your thoughts, because obviously you were there for the inaugural Duffy Cup. But I'll throw straight to you. Your thoughts, initial thoughts for this game tonight. Tell me what you're thinking.
No, it's I think we both had the feeling kind of heading into the game that I don't know what it was, but I was just kind of keen to head to the footy tonight, and I just had a good feeling. I don't know why. I didn't trust them necessarily, but then as the game went along, I was going, okay, this is a little bit different, and let's be real. Before we get into the nitty gritty of us, talking players up and all that kind of stuff. Of course, we're not in the situation we want to be in. But for me, this is a message to everyone. Let's just enjoy it, because I'm enjoying it. I enjoyed tonight. I was like, okay, it was just a break from, like you said, the crap we've dealt with for the last few weeks. We don't have to repeat. I'm sure the people who listen to our fucking podcast don't have to listen to us talking about all the negatives, which you got to do when you lose. But yeah, like you said, it was for me, what stood out was the young guys. There's a couple breakout games, I thought. Tonight, I thought, there was still a couple of our leaders still playing well. I thought Weeders was superb, and I thought Cripps led from the front as well. But yeah, like the performances of Matt Carroll and Ashton Moyer, and I think Lockie Cowan was one of his best games he's ever played. I think since he's come back into the team, I think he's been really underrated. I think his games have been really good. I know we haven't had wins, but I think he came back for the Collingwood game, which wasn't one to remember, but I thought he was one of our best in that game as well. Like you got to credit guys when they play well, even if we are losing. So yeah, very positive, and 4 wins in a row against Melbourne in, like we said off air, very similar fashion. Doesn't matter if we're good, bad, the semi-final was the same. Like it was just patches of, not like necessarily we were playing bad at patches, but other team, they'll take their chances at some points, and then the other team gets on top, and then they come back, and they did come back with, what was it, 6 minutes ago, and I was kind of shit myself, Patto, not gonna lie. It was the first time I actually shit myself at the footy for a while. Because I just knew mentally how important the win would have been just for the group, just have a week off, just people giving them shit for a week, like people like us. You know what I mean? Like the media, and it has been ridiculous. Like they're human beings. I'm not trying to defend their performances this year, but they are human beings. And I'm sure Crip is, heading home tonight with a smile on his face, especially with the young kids coming through.
Yeah. And speaking about Cripper, he did a very, very good interview after the game on Fox Footy. So I know that you've seen it, and I know that we've spoken about it as well off air, but to the people who haven't seen that interview, make sure you go and watch that back, because I think the interview also was inducted off of Sarah Jones and her questions as well, which kind of made the interview. But I think that the way that he kind of spoke about the coach and what he's kind of going through at the moment, like let's be real, it probably is warranted. I think as a captain, you probably need to be blamed to an extent, but that he's not. Like, I don't think he would be getting much sleep every single night, because he wants to be in a better position than what we're in right now. So he has to go out there and face the media and all those sorts of things. But I think he spoke very well. And also, they did an interview with Michael Voss as well after the game, before his presser. So I think that was good for Fox to do that. But overall, I think that shows that our leaders are very good. I know heading out of that game, I was very, very happy, but I then had a bit of a slight thought in my mind of oh yeah, but it can always be better. But then I'm just like, hang on.
Yeah.
We've had so negative moments this year with losses to Collingwood, losses to losses in general, but even field stuff with the TDK and what the fuck is going on there, injuries, even at the start of the year with Luke Sayers, just the whole year has been very, very poor, very, very negative. It's just been a reoccurring process all year. And literally, we have said at the past few reviews, we said, when is something just going to change? And I was heading into today's game. There's no way that they will deliver the same shit. There is actually no way. And then walking out of that game, even if we ended up losing that game, obviously it would have been the same sort of fashion it's been in. But I just think tonight was a bit different because there was more kids showing more out there. And I think they probably outshadowed the leaders and the stars of the game, like the George Hewitts and the Cherers and there's a lot of other players like Adam Sard as well. I think Carroll really stepped up. Even Cooper Law to an extent as well.
Yeah, he was great. He was great.
Yeah. So I think those guys, hats off to them. And I think the past few weeks when they've been shat on, I think it is warranted. But also when you get a win like this, you can't be too negative because I just think that that's kind of a toxic mindset, in my opinion. I know that everyone has standards, but we need to realize that 2025 is not our season to win the premiership. But let's try and lower our standards a little bit and let's just try and enjoy some success because I think this is important for this group to try and remember how to win again. And who knows, we can actually finish this season off with a bang. So, Dave Boy, I'm just going through the match report as well, and I thought we would probably just touch on a bit of a negative to kind of start off the episode before we kind of transition into the rest of the episode to be positive because I want this whole review to be positive because we haven't had many wins this year. But obviously the injury to Frankie Evans with the concussion, a very big hit from Stephen May. I actually want your thoughts in if you think that could be kind of a moment where Stephen May might probably even miss the rest of the season. It was that much of a serious hit. I don't think he could have done much more, but also we need to try and take into account that concussion is a very, very serious thing. But also Frankie Evans was actually quite good tonight. So he was playing in the role that he was kind of playing in the VFL, and it's good that we can actually transition him back into the senior side and kind of give him a similar role that he was kind of playing well in the VFL. So I want your thoughts on that sort of hit and what you think it could mean for Stephen May for the rest of the season, but more importantly on Frankie Evans and how you thought his game tonight, how you thought he played tonight.
Yeah, it was disappointing because when I saw that kind of it was right in front of me. It was right directly in front of me, and I was like, "Fuck!" I could see Stephen May coming, and like I've said, I do watch a fair bit of Melbourne. I know he's a 0 to 100 type operator, so I knew he was going to go either, kind of a bit lay off or just fucking hit it hard, which he does, and to his credit, that's why he's a good player. But I just think it was unlucky. Unfortunately, I think he will be reported. I'm not sure what the extent. Maybe a week for me. I'd say a week, maybe.
It needs to be 3 though, because if it's a concussion, that's a thing. It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, that one's interesting. God, I don't want to give him 3 though.
I know.
They've got to reset that system, I think.
They do.
I don't think you can be getting 3 for that. I think it was a football play. I think it was more of a football play than Sherry's, to be honest. I think it was more of a 50-50. He didn't really slap his arm on him. So, and apparently there was a zoom up that had Frank Evans' teeth marks on his shoulder. What? I was getting messages from people going, "Did you see his shoulder?" Well, obviously, I can't see his shoulder. I'm at the bloody game. I'm not that close to Stephen May, but Yeah, I was just it is disappointing. And in terms of Frank's performance in the game, I thought, gee, I was going okay. Like I was going, this is solid. I thought he started the game really, really well in terms of his pressure, and he turned over the ball. How many
Yes.
we turned over the ball a lot of times? I know that was sloppy ball movement, but we made him pay a little bit. We were causing turnovers high up the ground, which I actually think we're good at. Our issue is we don't do it enough. I think because once we do lock it in our front half, I think we're good around the contest and stuff like that. We just don't do it enough. But he set the tone in that sense, and he earned a goal, which was a good goal as well, and a much needed one in that game. So, yeah, hopefully he's okay. I'd imagine he'll miss next Thursday night's game against Hawthorn, which is a shame for him. I think it's a shame for us because I wouldn't mind seeing him out there because I thought he was our best small forward tonight in terms of just a complete game. I thought others had their moments. I thought, it was a fantastic moment with Flynn Young and that whole celebration. And it was just, it was good. And well, Will White celebrated a goal in front of me. I actually thought it was a goal. It was the angle of it was, I know I'm reverting off Frankie here, but that one was interesting because people will probably be going, what the fuck? I messaged you. He was right in front of me. So he ran to the pocket and he didn't over celebrate. It was more like a come on or whatever. So I thought he kicked the goal and I was like, oh, why? Good job. And the old man's gone, they've called a bloody point. They've called a bloody point. Because it must have been like an optical, some sort of illusion because you wouldn't think, surely you would, realize if it was a point or not. But yeah, Smalls had moments, I thought, but he had the most complete performance for me at Frank Evans.
Yeah, I think with that Will White moment, when I was working on the game and looking on the broadcast, like it was obviously very obvious. If it probably isn't the right sentence to use, but it was very obvious that it hit the post. So.
Yeah.
Like when it kind of then showed back and he was like celebrating, I'm like, oh, that's a bit funny because it looked like he was more concerned about celebrating than actually kicking the fucking goal to every boy. But then looking back at that as well, I think when you actually looking,
it was kind of you couldn't really see it from that because he was right in line with me, so he kind of kicked it and then he kind of got pushed out, so he thought the ball went through. So clearly he's missed it hitting the post. And he's seen the ball go over the line. So it was just like I was getting up and about and I just looked like the biggest goose. He made me look like a fucking goose out there, Patto.
I mean, imagine him celebrating and then realizing, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly right. In front of the crowd at the G.
Yeah, God. But actually looking back at that forward line as well, Dave Boy, you mentioned it very well. So I can completely agree. I think in terms of small forwards, Frankie Evans was our best bet. If you can kind of classify Ashton Moir as a medium-sized forward, if you can classify him as a small forward, I think he definitely was our best small forward, but I don't think you can really classify him as that. And since Arazu Fantasia made his way out of the side, you kind of needed someone else to step up. So this is when I get to the, I guess, the situation and the statement that I'm about to make is when you give these guys a chance, right, to come out and play in the senior side. And I heard it, so on the way home from work, I put on the Fan Games board, shout out to Tez.
Yep.
I wanted to just kind of have a bit of a understanding of what other people were thinking. And the first guy that came on said this. And I would like these guys to actually have the opportunity to come into the side. And also, VFL is completely different to AFL level.
Oh,
completely different. So I personally think that a guy like Ashton Moir, we were saying the whole year that he has been quite poor in the VFL, but I don't really remember saying like, oh, you just give him the chance because I think a guy like that should kind of have he should be performing in the VFL to then get the right to then play in AFL. But players like that need to have that exposure to senior football and AFL football to perform. And what do you know, when you give Ashton Moir a few games at AFL level, that was his career best game tonight.
Yeah.
That was the statement of Ashton Moir. And literally we were speaking about it throughout the game as well. Just imagine in 2026 when we have Harry Mackay, Charlie Curnow, and Ashton Moyer as that third tall. And I think something that we've been really lacking this year is Jack
Yep.
Martin. That was
Yep.
massive. That was a really big,
Yeah.
I guess, like void that we had to fill. And knowing that we've got Ashton Moyer now, and even like, we kind of thought that Elijah Hollins could be that sort of player, but now Moyer has stepped up. So if Elijah Hollins doesn't want to get himself right and perform and like be a part of the Carlton Football Club, Ashton Moyer is there waiting, and he will perform without a doubt. And I just think that was something that really caught my eye tonight, like leaving and like at the end of that game, Ashton Moyer and Frankie Evans were the two guys that really stood out in that forward line. And we've given opportunities to Lockie Fogarty. We've given opportunities to Jesse Motlop. We've given opportunities to Corey Durden as well. And I feel like Flynn Young and Will White, who probably weren't as good tonight, still showed something more than Corey Durden, the Jesse Motlops, and the Lockie Fogartys. So I personally think the next, I mean, there's no chance of us making finals. So I don't know why we can't just experiment a few things. Zach Williams going to the midfield was fantastic.
Yeah, been great. Yep.
So now there is kind of that void in the forward line without Zach Williams being there as that main small forward. There are a few opportunities there now. And now that Arazio Fantasia, we don't know how long he will be out for. There is a few opportunities there. And I feel like you have to give Moyers, Evans, obviously when he gets himself right and comes back into the senior side, give him exposure to senior football. Flynn Young has to stay in the side. Will White probably has to stay in the side as well. Those four I really want to give exposure to, with also mentioning hopefully Harry Lemmy sometime this year, but I don't know how he gets in because I think Harry Mackay is expected to come back next week. So I rambled on for a little bit there, Daffy Boy, but I want your thought on that forward line. Charlie Curnow was fantastic tonight. He's been building the past few weeks. He's been very good, but he just needed that goal in the first minute of the game to get himself right, and then he kicked the second goal, and then obviously he kicked the match winner. So that was crucial for him. But I want to hear your thoughts, more importantly, on those small forwards and those medium-sized forwards like Ashton Moyers and how good they were tonight and how impressed you were with that forward line tonight.
Yeah, I was really impressed. I think Melbourne's defense isn't too bad. I think it's a pretty strong defense, especially their smaller defenders. I thought even Disco Turner, I thought he struggled tonight, but I think the way we moved the ball was a little bit better going forward. It was a bit more that chaos style, wasn't it? And it was more central, in my opinion. I think we were less pocket, which, you want to hit the dangerous space, especially when you don't have a Harry playing. You want to get the most out of the guys that are there. And you just spoke about those guys with Moyers and, gee whiz, speaking about him, you were spot on with the whole VFL call because there's a lot of players, and I think I've said it in the past, and this is not just Moyer, but at any team, there's players that don't necessarily dominate VFL level, but when they come into the AFL system, they're playing with better players, they're playing at a higher level, and they have that, I don't know what it is.
They can elevate to that level, can't they?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but there's other players who are the other way around who, might play AFL level, but they're not that good and then dominate VFL level. So, it's an interesting situation, but I think Jack Martin was a similar situation at Carlton.
Very similar.
Like there was no benefit of him playing twos because I just think there was, he just never really got going in the twos, but when he came in the ones, he impacted. And Moyer's, 10 years younger than him? 10 years younger than him, and he's got that booming foot. He can kick on both feet. That is the skill I think is missing from a lot of forwards in the competition at the moment, is that ability to kick on both feet from any distance. And that was a part of his draft kind of notes. I remember going through his notes when we did the draft episodes, and one of his major strengths is his kicking and kicking on both feet. They said he was the best kick on both feet in that draft. So clearly he was rated. I think we ended up, what was it, in the pick in the 20s, or was it 24 or something around that, kind of 25 to 30 mark for him. So it was really good to see him. He could have had 5, had that last shot, which I thought, that would have helped the heart, Patto, with him kicking that goal. It would have been the sealer and we would have gone up by 3 goals. But yeah, all in all, I can't complain. And like you said, with Flynn Young and Will White and guys like that, you just got to keep playing them. You got to see what's the right mix. They might not be good enough. I don't know if they are good enough, but you got to give them a shot. Flynn Young could have had a couple goals, in my opinion. I think he put himself in the right spots.
100%.
I really enjoyed his work rate tonight. I kind of was watching him a little bit when he was pushing higher. I know we always speak about it. We don't want our forwards pushing into D50, but not even just that. It was working kind of halfway up the ground to help defend the ground, which is really, really good. Because, I think a team defense is more stronger than relying on your back six or your more defensive minded players. So yeah, no, really good with the small forwards. There's always room for improvement. I'm not saying there's not going to be any moves in the off season, but I've said it. I think the 90% of the improvement for next year will come from the players we've got. No doubt in my mind. And that showed tonight, Patto. And it's not just the forwards. It's Moyes, Carrolls, Cowans, O'Farrell. That's your improvement there. And I know people might go, oh, Daf, but we're so far off it. We're so far off it. But it can change like this. It can change like this when you've got guys who are just growing in front of your eyes and growing with confidence. You got Matt Carroll, who was delisted. He was delisted at the end of last year. And he worked his ass off, got a spot in February. And now he's looking like a mainstay in the D50. And he's playing better than Adam Sard. He probably has had a stronger year, in my opinion. I'm not having a go at Sardi. Just he hasn't been up to scratch, and he's had some issues with his, the soft tissues, and I think it builds up. I think that stuff builds up. I'm not trying to give him an excuse, but you look at it, Patto, and you go, well, why can't we play these younger guys and expect wins next year? You can.
Yeah. When you kind of said that about Carroll and like realizing that he probably could have had a better season than Adam Sard, he's played enough games.
Yeah, he's played since, was it Gather Round?
Yeah, Gather Round, and I think he missed one, maybe two when he got omitted, and then he came back into the side. So I think that's probably 10, 12 games there. So like realizing that, and I just think it's more down to like the expectations of Adam Sard and him being one of our best defenders to Matt Carroll. But I just think that it doesn't even matter in that situation because I think in terms of impact, I just think I've seen Carroll more. And once again tonight, he played such a good game, only finished with 15 disposals. So he doesn't need the 25 disposals because every single disposal he gets impactful. And I said it against Brisbane.
Yeah.
People will be talking smack about Carroll and the two decisions that he was trying to take the game on, but unfortunately he got caught. That's not his fault. It's the defense as a group saying, you're hot, mate, get fucking rid of the ball. Yep. So I don't think that's really down to Carroll. And I'm really glad that he's had this game now.
Yes.
He's got the confidence, exactly like Cowan. He's had a few senior games, and now you're finally getting continuity in your game, confidence in your body to now go out and perform at senior level. That's exactly what he's done. And I'm so glad that, I think it's a bit different on Carroll because he's had to go the hard way. He hasn't had it easy. He's been delisted. He's probably been at the end of last year realizing how the fuck am I going to make, like, how the fuck am I going to go about myself at the moment because I can't make any money because I don't have a job anymore. But he's had to work his ass off saying, no, I'm good enough to be a professional footballer, whether that's at Carlton or another club. I'm going to work my ass off. Then he's got re-signed again at the same club.
Yes.
His mentality now is like, all right, you've given me a second chance. I'm not going to let you down. And he, seriously, you said mainstay in the back line.
Yeah,
definitely, in my opinion. In terms of his size and that kind of a point of difference in that back line. Like, it's not like he's a tall fella. No. It's not like he's small as well. I just think he's that perfect mid-size end. We mentioned Mitch McGovern. I don't know if he was on air or off air. He's probably covering that Mitch McGovern position in the back line. And I'm sorry, I'm taking Carroll at the moment over McGovern, not just because McGovern can't get out on the park.
Mm.
It's the way that Carroll plays with that silky left boot.
Yep.
I just absolutely have loved his game, and I could not fault his game enough tonight. But also another play that we have to mention as well is Lockie Cowan and how how much he has improved this year.
Since he's come back.
So you mentioned against the Pies game, I think he returned.
He's good.
And as soon as he came back into this side, there was a difference. We literally noticed it, I reckon, in that game. We said he has a point to prove, and even when he re-signed and the way that he spoke about himself and his views on the club.
Yeah.
To me, that's a leader. I see leadership qualities in a guy like Lockie Cowan. And I know that Tassie's coming into the competition a few years later, but you need to remember he's a boy, like a boyhood Carlton supporter.
He ain't going.
So you want to listening to guys like that and the way that he spoke in those interviews when he re-signed, and tonight just we've been crying out for a guy with a bit of that CUNT. He has it left, right, and center. So to try and focus on Lockie Cowan as a whole, Daffy boy, how do you view his game? I know that we've spoken about him a bit, but to try and just focus just on him and his game tonight and how important he was in that back line, how do you find his game?
Yeah, you can see I think he's been a pretty solid player since he started, but I think he's just improved. I don't know what, it's just, I reckon I think he struggled a little bit at the start of this year. Before he had that injury, was it hammy? He had the hammy injury.
Yeah, hammy quad,
I don't know what game it was in. It might have been the Geelong game we won. I think he might have done his hammy late in that game. I'm not sure, but
I think you're right.
He comes back from that injury, and like you said, with what he spoke about, it gives you a lot of confidence as a supporter when these guys are driving the club for the next few years. I'm not saying he's going to be captain or anything, but like you said, he's got the leadership qualities. He doesn't need to be captain. You can be a leader. Doesn't matter what age you are. Doesn't matter what ability you are. He's not Cripps. He's not Wiedering. He's Lockie Cowan. And like you said, with the CUNT, he's always had that.
Yeah.
He's always had that. But when you add a little bit of class to your game, that's when you become a better player. Because I reckon in your first year, you always see the 18-year-olds. They're always like, if they have that CUNT, they always have it. But they need to be refined around the edges, don't they? It's just that little bit of 5% here, 5% there, whether it's your kicking, whether it's your ball movement, whether it's your defending, whether it's your one-on-one defending or your intercept marking, which I thought tonight, his intercept marking, they couldn't drop marks, him and Carroll. It was unbelievable. I think at halftime, Carroll had 7 intercept marks. And Cowan, every time the ball went near him tonight, I was like, oh, yep, sweet.
Yeah, Cowan, yep.
One-on-one, I was like, oh, yep, he's going to take this. Pack mark, oh, yep, righto. It's fantastic. And, you got to take these positives at the back end of a struggling year, because you want to be heading into the start of next year. Who knows what's going to happen at the start of next year? Cowan everyone has their form dips. Carroll will have his form dips. He's a young player. Cowan might be able to form at patches, but we know their best can stack up against good sides. And I know it's Melbourne, but he was just outstanding. He was a class above. And I'll give you a sneak peek to my votes. Matt Carroll and Lockie Cowan will be in my votes tonight, because I thought they were superb, and it really just gave me, I don't know, just a bit more clarity about our future. Because, you always worry about it, don't you? You go, oh, God, what have we got improving? And we spoke at the start of the year. Where are these guys in the twos? Are they good enough? Yes, they are. We've been answering that question. They are good enough. But like I said, you've got to expect the highs and lows with young players. You said it with Carroll last week. Don't be shitting on a young kid. Don't be doing that. He made mistakes last week, and he learned from it a week later. That is exactly what I just go, tick, tick, tick. If you're improving within a week and I know it's a different opposition, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You've still got to do it out on game day, and he did it tonight in front of, I think it was 40,000 at the MCG tonight. It did feel actually a little bit more than that. I thought it would have been 50. The crowd was actually all right, atmosphere-wise. I'll say that.
Yeah. I mean, I would understand it if it was a Melbourne home game, but know that it was a Carlton home game. Dang it. But That could might be one of the smallest crowds in a long time at the MCG. Well, probably thinking back to probably 2023 Gold Coast. Because I think the North game this year was pretty good.
Yeah, it was 50. It was 50.
Oh,
that was 50. Yes, that's all right. So it was 40,200 or something. So, like, I don't blame people. I don't, because there's people who've reached breaking point. I reached my breaking point a few weeks ago going, I'm not going to another game. And here I am fucking cheering Will White's posters.
But you had to go because it was the Duffy Cup.
Duffy Cup.
You had to make a feature. And I'm surprised that they didn't do... Straight. Hey?
It's 4 years straight, mate. The Cup's coming home again. He was filthy. He goes, because he, my old man goes to a lot of Carlton games with me. Like, he goes to every Carlton game I go to.
Yeah.
And he goes, I've watched you bastards play like shit all fucking year. And we fucking beat them again. And, they're becoming our kind of bunnies at the moment, Patto. It's kind of funny. And I think you messaged me during the game. It's kind of a bit of a, we've got that on you. We've got that on you. So next year when you play us and you go, you've lost the last 4, you kind of got that mental hurdle. Look, we have that against other teams who we lose. I'd say we've got a mental hurdle against Collingwood. Doesn't matter if they're better. Even if we're the favourite heading into the game, we always go, and that's fair enough. That's just what football is. And, we've won, I think, the last 6 against Freo. So you look in the next 2 weeks and we've got them. And they'll be, I'm not saying we're going to win that game, but they'll be thinking, because they've got to win games to make finals, and they'll be going, oh, fuck. What is it fucking, these idiots who can't even make finals? Like, that's what I mean. That's what you can get out of the last few rounds. Let's spoil the fucking team season. Let's make them finish in a bad final spot. And that starts with next week. I know it's a 5-day break. Of course, we have a 5-fucking-day break when we win a game. When we lose a game, it's a fucking 7-day break. So we have to go through the 482 television shows I have to watch about the same shit.
Well, it's going to be even better when we beat the Hawks on Thursday night, because that means that we can enjoy the 2 wins heading into the Freo Dockers the week after Duffy Boy, which is also a ground that we do very well.
Optus. Yep.
Dare I say. But I will say, I was quite surprised I didn't see either you or Daff Senior come out and present the medal. What was that about? I was expecting
we just did it. We did it behind closed doors. It's out of respect for the Daffy Cup. It's a bit of a prestigious award, Patto. and I gave the medal to Matt Carroll at halftime.
Matty Carroll. No, mate. Ashton Moyer videos. But speaking about Ashton Moyer, I was about to mention earlier, he was actually picked 29 in the 2023 draft. So I think that was almost a steal, dare I say. I mean, he's only played a few good games. So let's try and calm down a little bit. But I think the way he played tonight is very, very exciting. And as the guy said as well on the fan cams, once again, it's just giving these guys a few block of games so they can get a bit of confidence. Like, don't bring him in, bring him out, bring him in, bring him out, because that doesn't make them any better. I wouldn't mind seeing Billy Wilson probably getting a bit of exposure. And I've been crying at Harry Lemmy all bloody year. These guys should be getting some a bit of exposure. And now I don't see Blake Acres coming back into this side anytime soon. It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy to think that Acres probably won't be featured for a few weeks. I mean, I'm sure you
look at him and you go, you talk about the trade period.
Has he got any value?
Tom Morris reckons there's 3 to 4 clubs looking at him. So it's it's going to be interesting. There's going to be tough calls made.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Blake's a player I want to get rid of, but if you go, let's just back in the guys we have and go, sorry, Blake, you're not a part of our plans. I love what he's done for the club, of course. I'm not saying anything like that, but there's going to be the tough calls, and we've got to accept those tough calls, unfortunately. And we've made a couple tough calls with Kennedy and Owies, and it's looking like Kennedy's not going to play finals either.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny how footy works. I think, I think the footy world seem to have a go at clubs who make tough calls. I think they had a go at Collingwood when they made the Treloar and Grundy calls, but it works. They never talk about it after you start winning. So if we go into next year, what happens if we go into next year, we're better than the Bulldogs, right? They won't be talking about the whole Kennedy thing. So it's, and I know, I'd love Matt Kennedy at our club, but you got to make the tough decisions. We asked for the tough decisions, Patto. We've asked for it on this channel. Fans have asked for it. And when they come, people don't like them. So it's like, come on now. Would you rather play Ashton Moyer or would you rather play Matt Owies? Like, Matt Owies had the output, which we loved, and he had that energy. And I imagine if he had a contract, he would have stayed. But it was unfortunate. He was in his contract year. He was out of contract and wanted too much money. And you had to make way. And he's not fucking, it's probably hard at West Coast, but, he's not a world beater, Patto.
Yep. Spot on. It's actually funny you mentioned the Pies whole situation with Grundy and Treloar, because I was actually speaking to a man of mine at work tonight, and he's obviously a Collingwood supporter, and we were speaking about TDK and that whole conversation, and a few players that we might need to kind of put on the trade table to make a few tough decisions at year's end, so we can bring in some more important players or draft picks, whatever it is.
Whatever. Yeah.
He literally was saying that it was probably the best decision that they've made from a Collingwood point of view, giving away Grundy and Treloar, because that there's a shed of light if you give these guys away. And I think it was a few years ago when a club gave away a big player. I don't know exactly who it was, but they were mentioning it about don't be scared to give these big names away. Like, don't be worried, because you don't know. Like, of course, it might be a big loss.
Of course.
You might be able to find a way to make it a positive. And I think one of those things is Owies and Kennedy. I don't think they're probably on the same level as a Grundy and Treloar. But
no. Them
actually departing the club open up some salary cap. And I think TDK is another player that might be pushed out of the door. I mean, we would definitely touch on. I know exactly what you're going to say. Yeah. So we will touch on that very, very soon, actually, because I really want to speak about that. But that might be something that if you open up some salary, if you open up some money in the cap, we might be able to bring some more players in. Not too sure. But before we throw it, because I do want to touch straight on TDK in his game time, that brilliant mark that he took.
Patto. You know what I thought in my head? I went, sign the fucking contract. I actually thought he was pretty solid tonight. I thought he battled. He did.
Yeah,
he did. He's beaten and bruised. He had like a big. Did he have a big something on his shoulder?
Yeah, shoulder.
Left shoulder. He just looked like he was just hampered down. But yeah, there was a few moments tonight where I went, "Oh, Tommy, don't go."
Because that shoulder injury was happened in the second quarter on the way. Moyer's second goal in the second quarter. That kind of happened in that passage of play. I don't know exactly what the moment was. But I thought he was wrist at first. When he was holding it, I was like, "Oh, that could be wrist." But then he came back on, and then the shoulder was obviously taped up. So it was good for him to come back out. But I'm glad you mentioned him, because I personally think that he performed quite well. Probably the best game he's played in a while. Not in terms of stats, not in terms of impact, but I just think he battled in a role that he's not familiar with. So I think, yes, he was pushed forward because I think Pitnet is the better ruckman at the moment, and he's more in form. And obviously Michael Voss is just choosing to play Pitto in the ruck
just to
with
see
more ruck minutes, just to see how it goes. Because maybe it's because Harry Mackay isn't there, and maybe that second key forward is so important. But I think the way that he battled tonight was probably the best I've seen in a very long time, and that kind of makes me wonder if I don't want to say it, but it's either they have had a conversation, they've said, we might not have you for 2026, but while you have a Carlton jumper for 2025, you go out there and you play with pride, you play, you stick to our values, you like play to the standard
Yep.
that we provide week in, week out as a Carlton Football Club player. So I think there was a difference tonight. And I don't know if that is also down to the contract talks, Daffy boy, with St Kilda upping the contract just a tad, just a cheeky extra 100 grand.
Yeah.
So which makes it now 1.8. So obviously that means that St Kilda obviously see a lot of value in TDK, or which is probably what is the actual case. TDK hasn't made a decision yet.
No, yeah.
And he's leaning towards staying with the dark side of the navy blue.
Oh, gee, that would be
and
funny.
St Kilda aren't accepting that, and they want to lift up the contract. But unfortunately, money doesn't talk all the time, because I think success talks more than money, especially as an AFL footballer. I mean, with most cases, Daffy boy. We'll throw straight to that. I want to hear your opinion on that, because obviously you brought it to my attention through the week. So I want to hear what you have to say about that contract, with now it being up to 1.8 from reports from Theo.
Yep.
Not even going to attempt to say his last name. Definitely, I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's Greek. It's obviously the Channel 7 reporter. He works for Triple M as well. But your thoughts on that? Because more importantly, his game tonight and how you found his forward role. But now with those contract talks and what that could mean for Tom De Koning for 2026.
Yeah, no, I thought he battled really well tonight. I actually thought he rucked really well tonight against Max. I thought Max said it in the post game. He said De Koning and Pitternet didn't allow him to dominate the game, and that actually reflected kind of what I was thinking during the game. I just didn't know, sometimes you just don't have that, like you said with the fan cams. You kind of want to have a listen of someone's perspective, and clearly he has the best perspective because he played against him in the ruck. So yeah, it was really, really good to see. And when you see him fly in the air, Patto, in slow motion, you just go like that. That's why he's the player he is. He's a superstar of the game. And I know we've spoken badly of him, not badly, but
warranted though. Warranted. Would you say that's warranted?
Yeah, I'd say because we just don't know what's going on. If we knew he was staying, I think we'd all rally around him.
Yeah, of course.
And I think fans are starting to lean back towards his side, because I could feel in the crowd tonight. Every time he got the ball, when they did the player intros, the crowd were getting around him.
Wow.
Those little things. Yep. That's not me just saying it. I was a bit, I didn't know what was going to happen because the whole situation. But no, I rate that. Like you said, if he's a Carlton player for the next 6 weeks, at least he should be playing. He's playing with his mates. He's just get the job done for the next 6 weeks. And we know it's a lot of money, the 1.8, but I don't want to hurt myself thinking he's going to stay and then he doesn't. I think it's ideal. Like, we talk about the salary cap, but when you've got the opportunity to keep a player like that, you take the opportunity to keep the player and you move other parts. And I understand, Patto. I understand the salary cap. But it's more about, can you trust the club to make the right decision with that salary cap?
Exactly right.
We know what we have right now with De Koning. He hasn't played at his best. He's not in his position. He'll be back in his position at the start of next year, whether he's playing at Carlton or St Kilda. And he'll be playing at his best. At the start of the year, we'll go, fucking hell, this guy's a freak. He had a big block of games, I think, in that kind of Geelong patch where he was like, okay. It was like, whoa. It was like,
good,
okay, this guy's our best player we were talking about. So, and that's not that long ago. And I know he's struggled the last few weeks, whether it's through, positioning and battling through injuries. I know everyone does, but he does seem hampered to some point. But yeah, like you said, he battled well tonight. And, my thinking is, fuck, it would be the funniest thing. It would be, honestly, if he has a $1.8 million offer, he will be loved by the fans of the club. He seriously, I would just love him for the rest of his career.
Yep.
Because that would just make him a Carlton fucking person. I don't know what it is, but there's certain people that are. I'd say Cripps, Wiedering, Kernos, Mackay's, those players, they just have something about him, and he has that. Walsh, I think, too, he's loved by the fan base.
Yeah.
And we know he can get back to his best. But I just feel like when you have that, I think his career can just skyrocket if he makes the right decision. And if he makes the same decision, I'm not saying I'm going to go out and fucking abuse him. We're not going to do that. But he'll cop his fair share. But I just think more the pressure on him. I think it will just be so much. I wouldn't feel bad for him, but I would just feel like fuck, like it's not him offering himself 1.8. It's imagine a club going up to you, Patto, and going 1.8. It's like it's hard to not take.
Mm.
And then the issue is you're taking a $1.8 million pressure. St Kilda fans are going to be thinking he's going to win him the game off his own fucking boot, which he can do. He's done it for us.
Yeah, of course.
But they're going to think from round one next year, Patto, they're going to be thinking from the first bounce, he's going to kill it. He's going to fucking, which he probably will, but they'll think he's going to be the match winner, which he might be. But they're going to expect if he plays one bad game, the media will be right on his back. Kane Corns and players like that, it might be fair enough. But if he stays at Carlton, trust me, it will be a mental fucking shift in this group heading into next year. Going, okay, imagine Cripps going, this guy wants to stay and play with us. And, he's turning down $800,000. It just gives me something like, come on, Patto. My thinking is, I spoke to my mum about it. Imagine before round 24, TDK goes, fuck it. I'm going to sign with Carlton. Imagine round 24, the dead rubber, and everyone just gets to fucking MCG and gets around him. That would be fucking sick. That would really be sick. So we can just hope, Patto, I think. And we just got to let it play out. If it happens, it happens. I think we can work out both scenarios. If he stays, we can work it out. If he leaves, we can work it out.
Yeah. Yep. It's well said. You saying that, it just like,
I know.
now it just makes me a little bit more optimistic that I could see a light at the end of the tunnel where potentially TDK could be navy blue, in the navy blue next year for 2026. We aren't even going to speak about it until trade period or until we know, because I think it's something that we just have seriously no clue about.
Yep.
But my good golly, seriously, I
also
look at it a little bit like Cripper when he signed in 2021. And I know like a player signing doesn't mean that you're going to win the premiership the next year.
No, not at all.
But if he signs and there is we get him for 900,000 to $1 million, which is still insane money.
But he's probably on the market. He's probably worth that. Let's be real.
Yeah, of course he is. Of course he is.
Yeah.
I think he's a generational ruckman, and I think the reason why he's getting offered so much money, probably on the same scale as Luke Jackson in terms of ruckman who is able to produce like that. Like Tom DeConning can probably play as that midfielder that Luke Jackson is doing a Fremantle, and I don't know if that's the answer. I think TDK needs to be a sole ruckman with wherever he plays. Yep. But yeah, looking back at, I'm just thinking that if he can sign, that would be. I feel like that would be instrumental for what we could do for 2026. And I'm probably speaking out of my mind right now, and we'll probably get into 2026. TDK will sign. Still have the exact same issues. We'll get to round 15. We're 16th on the ladder. We just lost to North Melbourne 60 points. And I'll be like, brilliant. Sack the Boyd, new coach, new players. Why did we sign TDK?
You know what I love? We're talking about TDK re-signing after beating fucking Melbourne. But no, it's a serious conversation. I was just really intrigued by how they upped the offer. I think that's the whole kind of. I don't think you would up an offer if you knew he was going to come. But maybe they go, fuck it, we just give him more to make sure he's 100% right. So who knows? It could be money that you can't refuse, and I don't blame him to an extent. But I think if you look back on your career, I think the opportunities post-career, if he stays at Carlton, you'll be getting your sponsorship, you'll be getting your free Hyundais, you'll be getting your free, the Koning's got a job at Icon Park. Who knows? Those are the things when you play at Carlton Collingwood, you have the opportunities post-career. When you're at St Kilda, you go into the woods, mate. No one cares about you.
Into the woods at Moorabbin, mate. I know it well. I know it well. But you know what TDK will get? He'll get free appointments at that scanning place at Icon Park. I reckon that's the only reason why he'll sign.
Imagine that. That's the reason. If that's the reason, I'll go to the club and I'll pat the president on the back. I'll pat the president on the back for talking that fucking thing out for fucking months.
Congrats, Rob. But looking back at, I mean, who knows, man? I might even find myself at the skiing place, be like, "Oh, hey, Tommy, are you here for your free appointment?" We're in shambles here, but before we move on to anything else, I just thought I'd ask a question. Back onto the Lockie Cowan conversation. Do you know how old he is?
21.
He's 20.
Oh,
do you know his birth year?
If he's 20 years old, and what year is it now? 2025. 05?
He's 04. So he turns 21 in December.
Oh, fuck.
2004.
Yeah.
I'm 01, you're 02.
Yeah.
I look at Lockie Cowan and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life, Daffy boy?
We're sitting on a podcast past midnight.
Speaking about Lockie Cowan, the leader of the Carlton Football Club in a few years' time,
Exactly
who knows?
Right.
He might even depart to Tassie, and he might even be the inaugural captain at the Tasmanian Devils, whatever they're called.
No.
But I'm very, very optimistic about this team tonight and the players that really probably had to show something to kind of kind of keep their careers kind of alive as well. Like Carroll, if he didn't have the block of football that he's played, I think he might not be here at season's end. Like even Flynn Young, he's on. Like he came to the club mid-season recruit. Even Will White as well. A lot of these guys have something to prove, and you feel that. And I don't know if I mean we're not going to touch on the negatives. I'll probably try and say that for the previews, but definitely need to be your conversation to if we try and bring more players in to kind of fill the voids of the Fogartys and the Jesse Motlops. I just had a hiccup there, Daffy boy. Jesse
Motlop, man.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, we don't want to touch on the negatives. But that's probably something that you have to touch. Yeah.
He's out of contract, but I'd find it bizarre that they wouldn't re-sign him after playing in this many games. Like it would be bizarre. It's a D-lister player that's played over 20 games this year. He will play over 20 games this year. You know, I'm not saying I don't want him to depart, but I'm just saying that would be bizarre, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be bizarre?
I don't think he gets delisted.
Yeah, they clearly see something in him.
Yeah.
So it would be a very weird decision to play him all year and then part ways with him. But yeah, decisions will be made. And you said about those guys, they'll be fighting for contracts. And you know, who knows with Doherty? I really like that moment, Doc.
Yeah,
that was it. You know, he isn't himself. I think he's still having some solid moments, but you know, when he went back and nailed that shot, that was like, oh yeah, that's Doc. That's the Doc I know and love. And you can see the Carlton people around the ground. We always love a moment from a favourite son. I think. You know, when Cripps kicks a goal, even Charlie Sealer tonight. That got, you know, I spoke to you during the game. There hasn't been many moments this year. Well, in the last probably month and a half, that's really got me up and about. But I was like, it was more of just a relief. Like, come on, something's just gone our way. Charlie's back to his best, and then you remember, like you said it in the preview. People, it's easy to forget how good he is at his best. And tonight, people going, "Fuck!" You realise how fucking good he is. He ain't going anywhere. He ain't fucking going anywhere. Harry's not going anywhere. They cannot let these guys go, Patto. They can't. I don't know how you speak about the void of players who left. If one of them leave, I know, you know, that the footy club's always bigger than players, but I just think you just can't. You got to build around those guys. They've been at the club for so long. They're key pillars. They're nowhere near done. They're in their peak. They're in their peak, and I know they've had struggled years, but they've had injuries. And I'm not saying that's an issue, but Patto, when you're not playing 20-plus games in a season, it's fucking hard to find continuity. It is. We need them both fit and firing for fucking round 1 next year so we can put it on those fucking Tiger bastards. Put it on those fucking Tiger bastards round 1. I remember when we were 41 points. I know this is going off a little bit of a tangent, Patto, but I remember going round 1 this year. We were 41 points up, and I wasn't even cheering goals. I was going, okay. No, next year, Patto, you're going to be seeing a different beast from my end round 1. I'm not letting those cunts get away with the fucking backflips. Fucking, I want to see the first bounce. Someone run straight to that fucking Seth Campbell bastard and go, no. But that's the mentality I want to see. That's where I want to see this improvement. And then next year I go, okay, I want Moya round 1. I want Cal round 1. I want Cowan round 1.
Yeah.
And they've got to prove that in the preseason as well. But I'm just saying, I can trust if they're picked, I can go, okay. I can sit at the game and I can go, I know what they're going to give me.
Yeah. And like that's the thing though. It's so good that you said that because like we don't know who's going to be in our best 22. I mean, I know that there isn't a best 22, but whoever that round 1 team will be, like whatever, whoever is in that round 1 side, earn it. Like Elijah Hollins. I mean, I know I've mentioned Elijah Hollins a few times this episode, and the reason why is because I rate him so highly, and I hope all is okay. But if he can get himself right, there's something. And I said it to you through the week. I seriously find something just like he's that point of difference for me.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is about Elijah. It's something that as soon as he made his debut at Carlton, I straight away looked at him and I looked at him probably like no one else, really saying like this guy's just got something about him, and I just hope that he can get himself right and he finds some motivation that look, I've got it pretty bloody good here with playing at the Carlton Football Club. I'm going to try and re-show some faith in the club and hopefully get himself right. I mean, we've got no idea. I don't think I really have any right to really speak about it. But I just hope that all is well, firstly. Sorry,
I think you're spot on. I think we need no distractions heading into next year.
Yeah.
No off-field shit, president sending dick pics. Like that was the start of it, wasn't it, though? I think it was late Jan or early Feb. And then what happens? You start getting fucking injuries. I know that doesn't lead to injuries, but it just didn't. Right before round 1.
Also, Jagger.
Jagger doing his knee. Newman doing his knee. Curnow missing the first week because he had to take a bolt out of his knee. So we rested him for round 1. Like, it adds up. And I'm not giving the club excuses because I'm not. But it adds up, man. It fucking does. It seriously does. And we've been through it. And you look at, I know 2023 had its issues, but I think we didn't have as much issues off the field. I think it was more on the field. And they need to fix on the field, and they did. And it led to results. So that's what I want to see. Last year, we had a pretty good off-field, I think. We didn't have fucking, sponsors arguing with each other and people on the board arguing, and we're banning fans for voicing their opinions. When you get to the end of the year this year, let's get to the fucking preseason and let's be all in one boat. The fans, the players, the fucking board, the presidents. And we go, we're not accepting what happened last year. You got to move on in this industry. You can't be going, we finish 11th. Why can't we push the 4 next year? That's got to be the aim. I don't think it'll happen. I think we'll push the 8 next year, but I hope I'm fucking wrong, Patto. And they can prove me wrong. They can absolutely prove me wrong if they do the right thing off and on the field, starting from fucking the trade period and draft. That's where it starts. That's the line in the sand. And then you see your exciting players and your young guys you're bringing in, and you go, okay, this is it. This is where you can start the season already. I don't think people realise the importance of off-field, being stable off-field. Look at Geelong. They have incidents with Bailey Smith, but it all goes under the carpet.
Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like, and I'm sure you probably would agree to an extent as well with what I'm about to say, is I think like this point in time with having that win against the D's with a bit of a different look, new players playing, some players in a bit of a different role, Zach Williams rolling through the middle.
Yep.
Use the like this is almost a new season now. Like use these last few games as a new start. I know it's not the end of this. I know it's not the end of the season yet, and I know that we're no chance of. But like, use these games to catapult yourself heading into 2026. Get these guys fit. Get these guys motivated. Have a new voice. And I don't know whether that will be Graham Wright coming in. And I don't want to put all of my like expectations and all my trust into Graham Wright because I don't think he will be the Messiah. Hopefully he is, but who knows what he could do. I mean, I'm sure he will make very good decisions. But I just feel like we can use these last few games, and I think we even mentioned it in the preview episode. Like, use these last few games to try new stuff. Like, if you lose, I don't give a fuck. Like, if you lose against Hawthorn on the weekend and you play
in a good way,
Thursday, and you play guys in a new role or a new style or a new brand of football. I'm walking out of Thursday being like, okay, we've got something to work with for 2026. I don't want to walk into games worrying about if we're going to shit the bed a three-quarter time, which is what we've done 16 rounds the whole season.
That can't happen next year.
Yeah.
That can't happen next year. It doesn't matter if we're outside of the 8. Doesn't matter if we're inside of the 8 or the top 4. We've got to find a level. And of course, we want to push the 8. But if it's just the way we're playing, I think you're right. I think the way we played this year is just not up to standard. We're in games, but we're just killing ourselves. We're just killing ourselves every week, and we can't trust them. And they've got to fix that in the off season. And you know that'll happen. And they've got to work their fucking ass off. Tactically, I think skill wise is a big issue. We're just not skilled enough at the moment. I'm not trying to be negative Nelly here, but you know, George Hewitt missing that kick in the middle tonight. These guys are good players. It's weird that they're just not hitting targets to me. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, also Adam Chera as well. Like,
it's weird.
It's weird. To touch on, like I think we touched on a lot of positives tonight, but also we also had the standards and the expectations in 2026 that we want to win the fucking flag. Like, I don't know why we can't head into the end of the season. Yes, 2025 is done and buried, and we can move on to trade period and move on to all these things off season, and like whatever happens off field with the changes that we make. Assistant coaches, board, whatever it is.
Whatever. Yeah.
I don't know why we can't head into 2026 with a bit of a plan saying, we on the whiteboard, circle, win the fucking flag. Have that as the benchmark, and you can build other assets and other branches around the main fucking like bush tree. I don't even know if that's the right analogy, Daffy boy. But
no, it's right. It's right.
It's
not even like people will be thinking, oh, what are we talking about here? But it's what is the point of playing the game of AFL football, Patto, if you're not going to try and win a premiership?
Oh, it's unbelievable to me.
Every team should be aiming for it. Of course, you look at West Coast and North Melbourne and teams like that. It's probably unrealistic, and they probably have, the sights that let's try and push 10th to 12th.
Yeah.
But as a football club, I think we've seen enough in this group that they can get to the top. And it starts, and you said with the other branches, I think the first branch, I said at the start of this year, let's be a consistent home and away team. That's the first goal. But that's all it is. That is the start. That's all I want. If we lose a game, I want us to bounce back, win 2-3 in a row. Be a consistent team against the good teams. Beat the good teams consistently. That's all it is. You look at Geelong, Brisbane, Collingwood, they all do it. Brisbane were a shit team for years. And they finally, the penny finally fucking dropped, and they became a consistent team. And people go, oh, boring teams. They win every week, Geelong. That's exactly what I want to be doing. Going to the MCG, Patto, going, okay, we'll win this by 5 goals. we'll win this by 2 goals. I just want that. That's the building block. And then when you get that, then you start adding the other branches. Let's make the top 4. Let's win finals, which I think we can do. And I think it's really good that we've spoken about the game tonight, but also how we can push this next month and prepare ourselves.
Yeah, I think these last it's now 5 games.
Yep.
Of the season from Hawthorn onwards, that we need to utilise those 5 weeks. I don't know what it is. We utilise it tonight. We got the win. We finally showed this group. We've got Harry O'Farrell, his first win. Matt Carroll, I would assume he would have had his first win probably through the season. But
Flynn Young.
Flynn Young. Will White?
Well, nah, he played in North and Geelong and Saints.
Geelong, yes, he played Geelong.
Yeah.
Who cares about North Melbourne, mate? But I mean, like, more importantly, like, not even about having these guys like these guys getting their first wins. It's more importantly to the senior heads reminding themselves what winning feels like, and like having that win tonight. As soon as that final siren went, mentality of like, this feeling is good.
Yeah, it is good. And
imagine walking into the club after a loss, getting absolutely fucking smacked in the media.
It'd be shocking.
It'd be terrible. And like us supporters are feeling terrible. They would be feeling 10 times worse. And I know throughout the season, we have mentioned a few times that there's no way they feel the same.
They do.
To an extent, they probably would, of course. I mean, through a few games this season, the question definitely was asked. But at the start of the season, when we really want to win a premiership, they want success as well. I'm sure 100 times more than what we do.
Yeah.
But it's not even down to that. I love what you said about every single like aspect of the club, whether it's board, whether it's like assistant coaches, the coaching staff, players, supporters, sponsors, water boys, orange cutters, buddy, people who grab the boots every single fucking week and give them.
That's all. No more fighting. No more fighting. I don't want to hear, can we get this person sacked? Can we get this person sacked? Let's get to make the changes, and you've just got to fucking accept the changes.
Yep.
If you don't like Voss and he's the coach next year, fucking accept it.
Exactly.
No more fucking lose round 1 and then go, fuck, this guy, I fucking hate this guy. Let's just fucking back him for once. I know we do. Not for once. I won't say that, but we have backed him. I understand the frustrations. We've both had frustrations this year. But like I said, cut the shit at the end of the year and move on. Year was shit. And I'll be happy that it's gone. We both will, I think.
Yeah.
We'll be happy that it's gone, but we'll be optimistic, hopefully, heading into next year. I'm not going to be, you're not going to be going, oh, fuck, we're going to win games. It's a big jump from where we've come from, but I think they can do it if they do the right things.
Yep. Spot on, Duffy boy. As I said, I think we've touched on a lot of things tonight, a lot of positive things. I think it was good to spend a little bit more time on a bit of different, like different stuff and really focusing on the positives, because we have had an absolute shocking season all fucking year. So it was good to finally touch on some positives tonight and really focus on the positives, even though we did touch on a few negatives. It was really good to just finally walk out of this review, walk out of this game with a smile on my dial, and I can head into tomorrow, Sunday. Well, I mean, it's 1:00 here, so it's already the next day, but just walking into next week as well, excited. I'm going to go to the Hawthorn game as well on Thursday. Just excitement, But before we wrap up the episode, Duffy boy, we of course need to do the votes, the bagger of the game votes. So this, to me, I will say, is probably the toughest game of the year to find only three players, and to really only credit 3. It's probably the toughest, because I think there was probably 10 players realistically in my mind right now that could definitely get the votes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll throw straight to you, mate. Your votes, 3, 2, 1, exactly like the Brownlow system for the people who don't know. 3 votes, obviously best player, 2 votes to the second best player, and 1 vote to the third best player. Daft Boy, I'll throw straight to you the votes. Who have you got?
I did say a sneak peek, but I have changed my votes. I've changed my votes, Patto, and
I'm
it's going to be
curious to see who you have. Very curious.
It's stiff. Nah, actually, nah.
Go with your gut feel.
Yeah, I'll go with my original gut. I'll go back to what I was going to do. The one
But
guy
then
that's
mention
going to
whoever like the change would be. Mention that as well if you want, because I want to say.
So I'm actually going to say who's missing first. And I thought he was superb tonight. Jacob Wiedering was absolutely superb tonight. I thought he was going to be in my votes, and then I was like, oh, I don't know. But I think tonight, this is my theme for tonight. The youngsters. The youngsters are my fucking theme for tonight. 1 vote. Lockie Cowan with
Love
1.
Love it.
He deserves it. He was very solid. We've touched on him pretty in depth, I think, tonight. I think it's the most in depth we've ever touched on Lockie Cowan. 2 votes. Ashton Moyer. 2 votes. 4 goals. Could have had 5. It's just a breath of fresh air, Patto. And we've spoken about this guy. Is he good enough? Is he not? I said it in the last few weeks. He's had a good block in the 2s. Let's get him in. And now he is implementing that form that he had in the 2s, which is really, really good to see. And is hard to do. I don't think people realise how hard it is to do that. And 3 votes. It will be his first 3 votes of his career. I can't believe I'm saying this.
I know, right?
You told me before gather round that I would give this guy 3 votes. Matt Carroll, 3 votes. He was the number 1 rated player on the ground as a whole. And you said with his impact with the 15 touches, geez, he's just got that. He's just got that fire in him. He's just got that attack, will the ball forward, and he has that courage that I think separates the average players to the good players. That backing into packs. I can just picture him in a big moment next year. I don't know. I can just picture him in big moments in a big game, hopefully next year. Hopefully we are in big games next year. But I think he backed into a pack and Melksham might have been behind him and kind of banged into him. Not wasn't a bad thing, but he I was like, oh yeah. I was like, this kid's got something with him. So those are my votes, Patto.
Yeah. Looking at, I will give a spoiler. My 3 votes will be Carroll as well. But looking at like those votes and seeing the name Carroll as 3, he will catapult him back of the year. Because we know how important it is if we both
3
get
votes.
the 3 votes. Like that's 6 votes. I think, if he can get a few 1 and 2s, which if he keeps playing like that, he definitely will be.
Yeah.
He could be a late charge. So it definitely will be interesting to find out who gets the back of the year at the end of the season, that boy. But I think a few other players that we need to mention as well is we haven't even really spoken about him to an extent. I know that he's come across our mouths a few times, but Cooper Lord.
Oh man.
Hasn't he just
had some great moments tonight?
Yeah, he's gone to a different level. Like, I don't know exactly what was different tonight, but I just feel like whenever he had the football, it was just that more safety. I just felt like, okay, he's going to make the right decision. It's Cooper Lord. He's going to make the right decision.
Yeah. I thought he took a few good. I thought he took a few good marks in D50. There was a few marks where you just take the mark, calm down, don't drop the mark. There was just a few of those moments. I'm like, okay, I like this. And let's be real, he can't be the sub again. He can't be the sub again. Stop playing him as a sub, Vossi. I want you as the coach next year, but do not make those decisions. And also, when you head into next year, don't be afraid to play these young guys. I don't know what the afraidness was. That kind of held Voss back, I think, a little bit this year. And this is why we critiqued him and why other people critiqued him.
Yeah. I think like even I look back to 2018 when Bolton kind of threw a lot of the young guys like into the
Yeah,
side when they just simply weren't ready.
yeah, it's
But
different.
every single player that is playing right now who is a
They're
young
ready.
fella has
Yeah,
proven themselves that they are
yeah,
ready for senior
yeah.
football. And there's
Mm.
probably 5 players in the VFL who realistically is definitely ready or good enough to play in the senior side, but there's just not a spot now, which is
No.
exactly what we want. We want
Mm.
competition for spots. Like, I want a guy like Adam Chera or George Hewitt or Ollie Hollins or Jesse Motlop to feel a bit of pressure. If you're not
Yeah.
performing, I mean, Jesse Motlop hasn't performed all fucking year, but that annoys me a little bit. But if he
Mm.
keeps doing it and we get a decent small forward and we get a fit Orazio Fantasia over the preseason,
Yeah, the
there are
pressure's on.
questions that need to be asked. Because, like, who knows? Like Ashton Moyer, he could go to another level over the preseason and start 2026 firing. That's a spot.
Mm.
That's a spot locked away.
Yeah,
I'm so intrigued, and I feel like that would do anything like that will only just help this group because I feel
absolutely.
like if Motlop feels like there's a bit of pressure, I mean, I don't know what his
He might
mindset.
improve.
Exactly right. So I'm so excited about what could be, but
Yeah.
also for the guys like Cheras and the Hewitts who have been quite solid this season, but also
Yeah.
haven't finished the season well. There's a bit of pressure. There is seriously a bit of pressure, and I'm so excited. But I'll get on to the votes, Daffy Boy. One vote. Seriously, like to see, I mean, very, very like normal to see his name in the votes, but I'm so glad that he had a very good game tonight. And it was obviously Charlie Curnow. 3 goals. The type of football he was playing tonight is something that I haven't seen since probably
Mm.
2023. By
Mm.
2024, he was very, very good. But
Mm.
2023 was just a different like side of Charlie Curnow. And I feel like
Yeah.
tonight it's something that has been lacking all year and even for periods through 2024. That was the Charlie that I've missed. And I feel like he can have even more impact inside forward 50. I feel like he was
Mm.
probably too much up the ground at times.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it
Oh, no, I
because
loved it.
it got him in the game. It gets him in
Yeah,
the game. It's the same with Harry. I think
yeah,
him playing in the ruck has improved him as a footballer,
100%.
isn't it? It's funny. I agree. Obviously, you'd rather him inside 50. But yeah, I think our delivery to him was better,
Yeah,
and I think it's great that he was in your votes.
yeah. I feel like it's so good that he's getting more of the football, but I would love that 50-50 split where it's
Yeah.
either he even plays on a wing, but then you
Yeah.
can have Harry playing in the ruck, Charlie in the goal square. Isolate the forward 50, Charlie Curnow. Imagine the defender who's on Charlie with an isolated forward 50. He would
Yeah.
be shitting his pants. If they were wearing white shorts, you would see a bit of a brown stain going through their white shorts, Daffy Boy.
He's played one good game in 2025.
Oh, Chaz. I might even see the odds for the Common Medal next year. Daffy Boy, dare I say. But 2 votes. I am going to give it to Ashton Moyer.
Yeah.
More good goalie. Like,
Yeah.
what a game. I mean, that was definitely the statement game for Ashton Moyer. And finally, the Moyer has arrived at AFL level. So he is definitely a player that we're excited to see for the rest of the year. And as I've already mentioned as well, 3 votes, Matty Carroll, more of an emotional votes as well. I'm sure you would have been the same thing,
Yep.
like had the same views where it was he's worked so hard. And tonight he only had 15 disposals, but as we've mentioned a few times this episode, every single touch he had, there was impact. I was expecting him to have 20, but
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
him only having 15, I'm more than fine with that because I
Yep.
saw his 15 touches more than Adam Chera's 20, George Hewitt's
Oh, absolutely.
19.
Yep.
It's crazy, and I'm just so satisfied that he's found a spot in this team, and now it's for other people to take that spot away from him. That's his spot at the moment. If he keeps playing this type of football, Mitch
Absolutely.
McGovern, if he's on the list next year, he needs to go like into pre-season, work on his craft to make sure that you get that spot back. Because right now it's Matty Carroll's at the moment, Mitchy boy.
Yep.
So I'm so satisfied with where this team's
Mm.
heading. I know it's
Yep.
only one win, but
Yep.
hopefully we can try and finish this year with some positive wins and look forward to 2026 at the Carlton Football Club. But Daffy boy, very, very, a very, very good way to do the review episode. Obviously, with a win. I'm struggling to find my words at the moment. Daffy boy, it's 1 o'clock. Dare I say it? But before we wrap up the review episode, is there anything else you would like to touch on before we say goodbye to the D's and start to look towards Thursday night against the Hollywood Hawks?
Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a challenge. They're playing some good footy. I thought they played really well on the wet today. So looking forward to the addition of Harry Mackay next week. And hopefully, fingers crossed, to Silvani. I think those two for me. I don't think you need to change too much. I think you'd probably have to bring those two in. You go Silvani for O'Farrell's playing good footy. But when you have Sauce in the team against, you got to have. That's what it is. That's just is what it is. And then Harry will make way for one of our 18 small forwards.
Yeah,
I guess he can make way. He can make way for Frank.
Well, yes, but then there's other small forwards in there who really. I mean, we're going to. I can't wait for the preview. Very, very positive, but also looking forward to the preview show because I think there's going to be some cheeky omissions. Dare I say, David Boyd? Can I just say one name? A certain player who might be featured, unlikely, but I'm hearing some stuff, Daffy Boy. Don't know how credible it is, but Samuel Walsh might be featured against the Hawks next week. So imagine that. Sauce, Walsh, Mackay. I know we're not mathematically a chance, but let's just hope that there's a drug saga and we can find ourselves into the eight.
I actually think I just read it before, we're still 0.1 of a chance.
No, we're not. I don't think we're
heading into this round. Heading to this round, we were 0.1. That's like 0% chance. Yeah, there was some. I just read some percentage on some posts. 0.1% chance of making the finals. We can't.
Were we on 28 at the start of the round?
Yes. So we're on 32 now. Are we?
32.
Are we? No. Yeah. We're 28 now.
We're 20. No. We're 28 now,
games.
but don't know if that's the live. I don't know why my computer's not showing up as a live one.
Yeah, we're 28. 28.
Well, Port Adelaide is mathematically not a chance.
I think they are. I think they are. But who cares? We're not going to play finals. Let's just go home. Who gives a shit?
We just beat Melbourne and we're 13th on the ladder. And we're speaking about finals. That is the most Carlton supporter delusion I've ever heard. We just beat the D's by like 8 points. Probably should have lost in the end.
We apologise for that. We apologise. Jesus Christ. We're on 28 and then we're talking about finals. We're gonna no way we win next week.
Oh my God. Here's me.
Hopefully Walsh, Silvani and Mackay.
Yeah.
That would be nice additions.
Massive. And it will be interesting to see what will happen with the second ruck.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Do you go with TDK?
I don't know.
You got Meek.
I don't think you can play all three. No, I don't think you can.
Do you find a way? Do you play Harry as the just down forward?
With Charlie.
Do you go the three monster, like the semi-final? Do you go TDK, Harry, Charlie? Why don't you? Got Lloyd Meek. Let's throw 3 ruckman at him.
Fuck. Yeah. Very happy with tonight, but I actually can't wait for the preview because I think there's a lot to talk about.
I've got a feeling if we can get those ins,
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying we're going to win. I don't think we will, but they're got to win the games. And sometimes you see at the back end of seasons when a team can't make finals, got nothing to lose. You know how Carlton plays with nothing to lose.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, where it's like we kind of now have no pressure. So I don't know if that means that we're winning games now because there's no pressure. I've got no idea, but they're very, very excited for the Hawks game. I can't wait to play finals this year after the win against the D's to retain the Daffy Cup. To every single blue bagger out there, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I will just say very quickly, enjoy this week. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy the start to your week because we don't have many we haven't had many wins in 2025. So just try and soak it in. I don't want to see any negativity. I mean, I'm not saying that like these supporters can act however way you want. But I feel like if you're heading in with a negative mindset and still finding ways to kind of shit on the club and these things didn't happen last night, whatsoever, I don't know. I just feel like you need to try and be positive because we haven't had a lot of wins this year. So we just try and take the positives. There was a lot of positives tonight. Sure, there are plenty of things to work on.
Of course.
But we can work on that heading into the Hawks with a bit of confidence now. We've got to win. We remember how to win. Enjoy it. Like, I want to try and see a few Carlton supporters at the game against the Hawks. I really do. I would love to see that. But to every single boy bagger out there, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Also get around our podcast platforms, whether it's Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Music as well. I'll touch on the social platforms now, which is what I was about to say earlier. Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok as well. There's a few others out there that you can check us out on. But to you, Duffy boy, and to every single blue bagger out there.
The baggers.